Being able to choose makes all the difference. At best, it's a one-sided board wipe.
Hello, welcome to Gameplays by Clonehead. My name is Rob, and you may know me from my oppressive commander decks like Rafiq, Niv-Mizzet, and Zagana. In this episode, we have a two-headed giant commander match between Karn and Athreos versus Kemba and Zedruu. Unfortunately, each giant is missing a head today, as Josh is piloting both decks on the left, and Tristan both on the right. For two-headed giant games, each team shares a life total that is 1.5 times the norm for the format. So for events like Standard and Limited, each team begins at 30, and in Commander, each team at 60. Both teammates share each step and phase together, as well as life. Karn is a fast mana synergy deck that is weak to artifact and non-basic land removal. Athreos is a recursive deck full of value creatures that can get overrun by bigger threats. Kemba is a deck that goes very wide but is susceptible to board wipes and reliant on the general. And Zedruu is a wacky combo deck that aims to donate bad permanents for fun and profit. Kemba begins the game with an opening hand of Expedition Map, Mentor of the Meek, Plains, Strip Mine, Temple of the False God, and Emiria Angel. Zedruu begins with Scalding Tarn, Mountain, Island, Bizarre Trader, Gilded Lotus, Paradox Haze. Athreos starting hand, Wall of Omens, Graveborn Muse, Fiend Hunter, Strip Mine, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Plains, and Shriekmaw. Karn starts with a hand of Pristine Talisman, Haunted Fengraf, Eye of Ugin, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Wasteland, Vesuva, and Planar Portal. Josh starts the game, but doesn't draw for the first turn due to the rules of Two-Headed Giant. He doesn't have any first turn plays, but plays Urborg for Athreos and Haunted Fengraf for Karn. On Tristan's first turn, Kemba plays Expedition Map and Scalding Tarn from Zedruu. Karn plays Sensei's Divining Top and uses it. Athreos casts Wall of Omens and draws a card. Passing the turn, Kemba plays Myriad Landscape for some ramp. Zedruu pays 3 life with Scalding Tarn to get Sacred Foundry untapped, and casts Bizarre Trader. Karn plays Wasteland, tops, and then uses Wasteland to shoot Kemba's Myriad Landscape. Athreos strip mines Zedruu's Sacred Foundry. Kemba and Zedruu both play lands, recovering from last turn's land destruction. Karn casts Pristine Talisman and uses it to top. Karn gains 1 life from the talisman. Athreos casts Fiend Hunter and uses it to exile Zedruu's Bizarre Trader. Kemba breaks Expedition Map at the end step to search Ancient Tomb and add it to hand. Kemba plays and takes 2 damage from Ancient Tomb to cast Emiria Angel. Zedruu casts Paradox Haze, enchanting himself to get 2 upkeeps. Karn plays Vesuva, copying Ancient Tomb, and plays Unstable Obelisk. Karn taps Pristine Talisman to top and gain a life. Athreos evokes Shriekmaw to kill Emiria Angel, and Fiend Hunter attacks for 1. Kemba takes 2 more damage from Ancient Tomb to cast Nahiri, the Lithomancer, and uses it to +2, making a Core Soldier. Zedruu evokes Muldrifter to draw 2 cards. Karn loses 1 life between Ancient Tomb and Pristine Talisman to cast its commander. Athreos also casts its commander. Karn makes Unstable Obelisk a creature and attacks Nahiri with it and Fiend Hunter. Kemba blocks the Obelisk with the core, and Nahiri takes 1 damage from the unblocked Fiend Hunter. Kemba takes 2 damage from Ancient Tomb, but uses it to cast Austere Command, choosing artifacts and small creatures, resulting in a very powerful 4-for-1. As Karn puts Divining Top back on top of his library, and the 2 creatures that die from Athreos, 1 goes back to hand, but the other Tristan pays 3 life for to put Fiend Hunter into his graveyard. Bizarre Trader comes back into play, and Kemba -2s Nahiri to put Batterskull into play from hand, making a Germ token. Zedruu casts its commander. Karn recasts the top, takes 2 damage from Ancient Tomb, and casts Trading Post. Athreos recasts the Wall of Omens it got back to hand, and Expedition Map. Kemba casts Mentor of the Meek, and then uses Nahiri to make a core and draw a card with the Mentor when it enters. Tristan attacks with Zedruu and the Germ token. Karn pays a life and makes a goat with Trading Post, using it to block the Germ. Wall of Omens blocks Zedruu. Karn casts Mana Vault and taps it to cast Karn Silver Golem. Athreos casts Fleshbag Marauder, and in response, Karn makes Batterskull into a creature, killing the Germ token when the equipment falls off. In response, Zedruu gives Athreos Paradox Haze with Bizarre Trader, and then sacks the Bizarre Trader, even though this is an illegal play because Bizarre Trader can't donate enchantments. Kemba sacks the core token. Karn and Wall of Omens get sacrificed. Wall of Omens triggers Athreos and then goes back to hand. Zedruu draws cards and gains life during the upkeep from the Zedruu effect, even though we've covered he shouldn't be able to due to the enchantment not being able to be donated, at least through Bizarre Trader's effect. Kemba makes another core with Nahiri and draws a card from Mentor of the Meek. Kemba casts Sword of Light and Shadow and equips it to Mentor of the Meek. Tristan attacks with Zedruu and Mentor of the Meek. Josh doesn't block and takes 6 damage. Tristan gains 3 life and returns a Myria Angel to hand. Zedruu plays Reliquary Tower and Anvil of Bogarden, getting rid of the discard step. Karn takes 1 damage from Mana Vault on the upkeep. Both players loot due to the Anvil. Karn casts Mage Ring Responder. Athreos recasts Wall of Omens for the 3rd time and draws a card. Athreos also casts Stoneforge Mystic to get Sword of Fire and Ice, arguably the best equipment ever printed. At the end of the turn, Zedruu gives Athreos the Anvil of Bogarden. On Zedruu's upkeeps, it draws a total of 4 cards and gains 4 life, then draws 2 cards for the turn and discards 1. That's a lot of card advantage. Zedruu casts Drogskull Reaver and Ghostly Prism, which is not very relevant in 2-Headed Giant, as in 2-Headed Giant, if you can't attack one head, just attack the other. Kemba casts Spear of Heliod and equips Mentor with Batterskull, taking 2 damage from Ancient Tomb. The only attack is from Kemba, who attacks with the Mentor for a total of 9 damage, gaining Kemba 12 life. That's also a big life swing. Nahiri makes a core, draws with the Mentor, and attaches the Batterskull to it. Athreos casts Sword of Fire and Ice and equips it to the Fleshbag Marauder. Karn attacks Nahiri with the Mage Ring Responder and deals 7 damage to Mentor of the Meek with its ability. On Kemba's turn, he draws 2 and discards 1. Zedruu draws 6 and discards 1, and gains 4 life. Cause why not? Zedruu casts Vidalcan Plotter, swapping a mountain for a plains, and then casts Venser the Sojourner, using it to blink the plotter. Zedruu then attacks with the Drogskull Reaver, dealing Josh 6 damage, drawing Zedruu 2 cards. Kemba takes 2 damage to cast Cage Sun, naming white, and then casts Myria Angel and equips it with Sword of Light and Shadow. At the end step, the plotter comes back and Zedruu trades an island for one of Athreos' planes. Karn takes the damage from the mana vault, but untaps the responder. Athreos sacks the expedition map from way back when to get a plains, as he now has a bunch of unusable colorless mana. Athreos then casts Bone Shredder to kill the Drugskull Reaver. Karn attacks Nahiri again and hits the token with the Responder's ability. Kemba blocks with a Myria Angel, who's currently a 7/7. Both creatures die in combat. Karn casts Mind Stone and then passes. Kemba draws 2, discards 1 on its turn. Zedruu draws a total of 10 cards and discards 1, gaining 8 life. Zedruu casts Consecrated Sphinx because he doesn't have enough cards, and then casts Delusions of Mediocrity, giving it to Athreos with Zedruu's ability. Kemba equips the core with Batterskull, and then makes the Stoneforged Blade with Nahiri, and equips it to the core as well. The fully equipped core attacks for 28. In response, Josh gains 4 life from Trading Post, just so he doesn't lose on the spot. But Venser blinks the Delusions of Mediocrity, losing Josh 10 life and winning the game for Tristan. In this game of 2-Headed Giant, you can clearly see that the core principle of winning a game of Magic is draw more cards, play more spells, win more games. It also helps if you don't really read your cards and assume they do more things than they do. Way to go, Bizarre Trader. MVP. Thank you for watching another Gameplays by Clonehead, and may you always draw mana of the appropriate ratio.